Okay, so I know all of you have played a game against an alchemist that was paid as fuck and by 30 minutes had like every item in the game. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The raid boss alchemist. The one that's just unstoppable but has like all the farm on his team. You know, you can either go farm heavy alchemist or you can buy like a solar crest and just fucking run at him. But either way, you're the guy, alright? When you're alchemist, you are the shit and the entire enemy team knows it and they're trying to stop you. But what if I told you, okay, that I had another way to play Alchemist. Another far better way, at least in pub games, to play Alchemist. So today I'm going to show you guys how to play the Sugardaddy Alchemist. So by now, everyone's probably seen the title and probably heard what I've just said, and they're like, oh, well duh, moron, we know that you can give Aghanim Scepters to people, but just hold on, because if you do it a certain way, it becomes really, really good. Alright, now I'm going to say right off the bat that this strategy is not as versatile as the other strategies that I've come out with, but it will get you wins, okay? So first thing you have to do is find a friend. Doesn't really have to be a friend you know that long. You could have just queued with him and just met him for the first time, but you need a friend. Now, I know I'm no expert on finding friends because I make videos about a video game, okay, so I'm obviously not very social, but I can give you a couple tips on what a good friend might look like. First characteristic of a good friend. They are always generally a little bit odd. So what I mean by that is they could have yellow skin, they could have purple skin, or they could be a two-headed flying dragon, but all of these constitute as odd, and thus they make great friends for an alchemist. Second quality of a good friend, okay, is that they have this amazing hidden talent. So they normally, just do their normal shit. They go throughout their day. They might cast a shackle, or they might use maledict or something, but they have this hidden talent, right, that they don't use very often. They don't unlock until maybe later in the day, but when they get it right, it makes a big deal. And the third quality about these friends is that they're really good guys. They'd really make it if they had a chance in life, but you know what? They just need a little bit of help getting on their feet. Now, by now, I'm sure you guys have gotten this shitty analogy that I'm going for, so I'm just going to cut straight to the baloney. What I'm talking about is you want to get a support, right, that has a really good Aghanim Scepter upgrade. And I don't just mean a normal good Aghanim Scepter upgrade. I mean, it has to be good at either taking fights early or pushing. Now, by far, the number one support for this strategy, and the one that I actually made this strategy with, is going to be Shadow Shaman. Now, this strat starts off very simple, okay? You buy whatever starting items you want on Alchemist. I don't give a shit. As long as you just keep your boots at brown boots, okay? And you get a Radiance. That's all you need. After you get a Radiance, here's where the strat becomes interesting. Okay, there's a couple paths you got. First of all, you can either immediately upgrade your boots to Boots of Travel, but you don't have to do that. But what you do have to get at some point is a Heart of Tarask, okay? And the reason you do this is because if the enemy team sees that you're an alchemist, okay, and you have a Radiance, possibly Boots of Travel, and then a Heart of Tarask, they are going to think one thing, and that is that you are going to try to carry this game all the way to their fucking throne. But after you faked them out, okay, they're going to be building to deal with you. You're going to buy that Aghanim Scepter, and you're going to give it to your buddy Shadow Shaman. Now, if you've played all this correctly and you're not a jackass, or everything has gone according to plan, then you should be able to get Shadow Shaman his Ags around 26 minutes or something like that. Alright, now here's where I'm going to explain why Shadow Shaman is the best for this, okay? I'm sure everybody knows what Shadow Shaman's ultimate does. He lets down a bunch of serpents, they take a couple hits to kill, and they do a lot of damage. Well, what a lot of people don't know, and what I actually learned from an interview with No Tail, not that I did, that I watched, shout out to No Tail, is that level 1 Shadow Shaman wards with Aghanim Scepter is actually better than level 3 wards without it, and that is just crazy to me. So if you get this Aghanim Scepter super early on him, then the other team cannot stop you. It's ridiculous. The push is so hard. And now this strategy can obviously be played around, which I'll talk about later, but there's tons of other heroes that you can combo with this that makes it virtually impossible to stop this once you get the Aghanim Scepter on the Shadow Shaman. Another cool thing about it is all the gold that the Shadow Shaman would have normally been using to rush Ags, he can use to rush Refresher. So super early you have two sets of Aghanim Scepter wards on Shadow Shaman, and the other team can't do shit about it. Another way that you can change the strategy up to make it really shine is you get someone that plays in the carry role more like a traditional alchemist, so like an Ursa, somebody that's beefy that fights a lot. The reason you want to do this is because, everyone hates alchemists. So the other team, after they see you get those items in the beginning, they're going to be gunning for you. They're just going to be trying to kill you in every fight. Doesn't matter if they win or lose, they're going to try to kill you. So you want another carry that can bring damage, so that after they've already blown everything on you, he can just wreck them. And then the whole time, you got these fucking Shadow Shaman serpents just plinking away at everything and killing everyone. It's great. It's beautiful. Another important thing is after you've gotten Ags on Alchemist, you really want to go towards pushing items. So, after you've gotten your Ags, you still have your Radiance, so you're going to be getting a shitload of farm still. What you want to do is you want to build a Necro 3, and the reason for this is you've pretty much already stunted your carry potential by doing this build, so you just got to go all in on the push. Other items that you can build are like AC to give everybody some armor, as well as Vlad's if you don't have one. Just build as much shit as you can to break high ground and win the game. This is also where that Heart of Tarask that I mentioned earlier comes in handy, because it doesn't just make the other team think you're going to be a hard carry. What it does is, without a whole lot of items, it helps you stay alive, okay? So it makes you to be able to stay in the fight and keep soaking up the enemy team's spells. Now, there's tons of other heroes that this strategy can work with, so don't leave me some kind of list in the comments of every single hero in the game. But a couple honorable mentions are going to be Warlock, because, you know, he's kind of the exact same thing as Shadow Shaman, except he's a little bit more team fight oriented. Witch Doctor, because he's really good at team fight. So basically, if you have other heroes that are really good at pushing, then you can just push like normal. But if the other team tries to fight you, you have this Ag's Witch Doctor ult super early, and they just can't fight into you at all. And the last honorable mention is going to be Jakiro, because basically what you can do is whenever you're pushing a tower, you just throw out Jakiro's ultimate, and it lasts forever, and it goes super far in the lane, so it's really hard for them to approach you. On top of that, it does an ass load of damage, and Jakiro's really good at pushing by himself too. And so now that we've talked about how to make this strat work, I'm going to teach you guys how to tear it down. So this is going to be a little bit more obvious on how to counter it for those of you who've played against Alchemist before, but for those of you who haven't, I'm just going to continue on with what I'm going to say. The first thing you want to do, and the easiest way to stop this strategy, is to gank Alchemist in the middle lane. I know people said that millions of times, but I promise it works. You just got to make sure that you've killed Alchemist so many times that by the time he finally gets that Aghanim Scepter to his support, his friend, it doesn't matter. It's so late in the game, you guys are ready for it, you're prepared, and they have this mid with no farm. The second way is to have crazy good team fight. Okay, so everybody knows that the easiest way to win a pub game is to have good team fight. And the reason for that is because it's really hard for people at lower levels to play around that kind of stuff. I speak from very clear experience. So what I mean is a team that doesn't really heavily rely on a lot of farm, but heroes like Earthshaker or Enigma that can just walk in and wipe a team if they play correctly. Heroes like that really work good against hard push lineups, in my opinion, at lower levels. So that's pretty much it for this strategy video. I just wanted to add a couple things at the end of this that's kind of like updates on what's going on with the channel and everything at the end. Firstly, I moved into a new apartment, so I'm going to be trying to upload and make videos a little bit more frequently. I'm still going to keep going doing these Scrub Strats videos, but I also want to make videos on other games as well as more Dota related content. Secondly, I've started streaming on Twitch, and I'll leave that link below. I don't have a stream schedule yet because I've just started a new job and I have classes and everything, but I'll let you guys know when I get one. Right now, I can tell you that I'll be usually streaming in the afternoon, US Central Time, and on the weekends. And lastly, there's a Dota group that one of my good friends made. I use it, and a lot of my friends use it to find matches and get connected with other players. I'll leave the link to it in the description. So if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys really enjoy these videos. I know I love making them, and just have a nice day, guys. See you.
I am the thesis of her prayers. Her nieces and her nephews are just pieces of the layers. Only one she loves as much as me is Jesus Christ and Taylor. I got a feature song singing for my grandma. You sing it too, but your grandma ain't my grandma. Mine's is handmade, pan-fried, sun-dried, southside, and beat the devil by a landslide. Praying with her hands tied. President of my fan club, Santa. Something told me I should bring my
You gotta move it slowly, taking in my body like it's holy. I've been waiting for you for the whole week. I've been praying for you, you're my sign.